Hey guys, this is Mark here, coming to you with another video about 2025, the gaming in 2025. This is going to be a short video. What's going to change in gaming, what my fears are, what my hopes are, stuff like that. And first off, I'd like to thank you guys for the wishes of Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you guys too as well. I know it's been a rough year for all of us, myself included. I'm actually outside of senior living facility for my mother. I'm going to visit her in a few minutes. I'm going to give her time. She had lunch here a little bit, so I'm going to give her time to eat her lunch and stuff. Then I'll go see her. But yeah, that's it. And I'm up here in Clarksville, obviously. But I've been thinking about the whole year, last year of gaming, and how weird, how weird it was. The gaming atmosphere has changed a lot. Now, games are coming out damaged or not completed. Because everybody says it could be maybe because of the overallness with the games not being completed because of issues with processors or issues with RAM or whatever the case may be. Excuses people are making these days. I think games are not being made 100% completed because they're so massive, the budget's so big, and the expectations from the fans are even bigger. For a game like Helldivers 2, for example, I played a first good match yesterday with no issues. When no one was dropped, no one was kicked, automatically because of internet issue or competitive issue or connective issue. The game was running good. And we had our first good match, and that in a while. I think games now are becoming more and more dependent on internet connection than ever before. Helldivers 2 is one of them. I played Battlefield, an older game with a lot more problems, but no connect issues there. Technically they are, but it comes and goes. It's mostly server issues. But last night Helldivers 2 did 137,000. It's a lot. It's still not 400,000 it was when it launched, but it's showing that the game is, heading in the upward direction of recouping some of that losses. And if Sony wants to be really, really good chaps, they'll re-unlock the game in other regions that don't have Sony PlayStation Network compatibility, and just throw people a bone. And if they have Steam, they can play it. That way, you ain't have to worry about having to authenticate nonsense. That way, people can play the game. And maybe if you have PlayStation Network compatibility, you get like certain PlayStation flags or symbols or whatever. And if you don't have that, you're playing only on Steam. You may only have Steam emblem flags or whatever. Because I play on Steam, but I have a PlayStation account. That's one of them. That's one of the games. The Indiana Jones game requires ray tracing. I have a 3070 RTX 3070, but I don't have 8 gigabytes of VRAM. Ray tracing uses a lot of VRAM. And I think that does help a lot of people when it comes down to it. When ray tracing is needed to play games on this one game. Well, how many more games are there going to be able to be played? How many more games are there going to be played before they start saying ray tracing novelty? See, games now are trying to put ray tracing as a requirement, and my fear is Indiana Jones is just one game of many that's coming down the pike that's going to have this ray tracing mandatory nonsense where you may not want to deal with it. You may not want to deal with the ray tracing nonsense. You may not want to deal with the ray tracing problems. You may not want to deal with having to lower your settings down to medium setting if you have a 3070 or even 3080, either a Ti 12 gig, lower down maybe high settings on that one. Maybe 3080 you might lower down to medium or maybe high. 3070 you could go down to medium or low just to play the game normally. Because ray tracing is going to suck a lot of VRAM out. I think that's where a lot of people don't understand. That yes, RTX ray tracing is good to have, but no, it should not be a requirement to play a game. And I'm not saying that the 1070s and 1080 Ti crowd should be able to play the game they want to. I think eventually you have to start upgrading eventually. You get 2080 Ti, 2070 Super, you'll be fine. A 3060, 12 gig will be great, even though it's from garbage. But ray tracing will work on it. And you got 12 gigabytes of VRAM, so you can play 1080p, probably high settings, and have a decent experience. Probably locked to 60 frames, probably. But that being said, though, games like now, like games like this, fear me. I'm afraid of it because I don't know how far they're gonna keep pushing the envelope. How far is too far? If they require ray tracing today, why not require Gen 4, DLS 4.0 or RDNA 4.0 or 3.0 for your AMD cards? Standard, a minimum required standard across the board to play this game. You have to have this DLSS 4.0 or above. Means it counts me the 3.1 crowd out. It counts out the RTX 20 series cards out. It takes care of all the 6000 series cards, and 7000 series cards may have 3 or 4 DNR 4. But it does exactly what it needs to do. It alienates about maybe 80% of your player base who play games. Now they can't play that game, even though they may want to. They'll go out and go buy a 40 series or 50 series card and spend $800, $900 just for one game. Well, what happens this year? Let's say this year they have, 10 games come out, 20 games come out, and all of them have some weird variation of requirement of ray tracing, a DNR 4.0, FSR 4.0, what it's called, DLSS 4.0 or 4.1, no requirement. What then? You're gonna rush out to Best Buy and go buy an overpriced graphics card just to play 10 games that may not be 100% complete anyway? It just boggles the mind. It just boggles the mind. It boggles the mind and makes people wonder what really is going on around here. It makes people wonder what is really going on. How are we as gamers, allowing this to happen? I understand the technology, needs to grow. I get that. I get technology needs to grow. I get we have to get out of the 1080 Ti's, the 2080 Ti's, the 3060s, 37, 38, 3090s, and go into the future. But not everybody has $2,000 of no extra spending cash to go blow, on a $2,000, $3,000, $800, $1,000 graphics card. People, a lot of people don't have that kind of money. A lot of people don't have that fun money where they can just spend on what they want. Like myself, I bought a house when I was 25. I'm still fixing things to this day on it. Not, a major thing. Mostly there's little siding issues here, damage here, some shingle issues, tree fell over a year or two ago. I had to get that tree taken care of. Those things come up, and life happens. And you can't afford brand new graphics cards every single year because some company wants to fart out the latest and greatest game that requires the latest and greatest, and you're gonna have to make a decision. Okay, well, I guess I ain't playing games anymore, or I'm playing certain games I played already, or games I can play in my nil, in my area. And that's sad because then you're eliminating about 90% of the games that are fun because you can't play them because manufacturers, the creators, want to have the latest and greatest pumped into it, and that is fine. But you got to understand there is checks and balances here. If we're required to have a ray tracing card, if we're required to buy a 4090, a 5090, a 5070, whatever it is, the games need to be immaculate, 100% completed. No ifs, ands, or buts, no patches later on, no bugs, no nothing. It needs to be 100%. Because if it's not 100%, then you're not keeping up. You're in the bargain, or Mr. or Mrs. John Q. game developer. And that right there needs to be done. I think going forward, we need to start holding these people accountable more and more. And stop thinking that we can do whatever they want because they feel like it. I don't care if a game requires ray tracing and I have an RTX 3070. I want to play the game at high refresh rate. I want to play a game at 30 frames locked in and at 2K because I have a 2K monitor and I can play at 30 frames because this damn game requires me to have ray tracing, suck half my VRAM away, all my VRAM away, and I have to have no damn. It just boggles the mind. If you got 1080p and you got 8 GB card, you might be fine. If you got 1080p and 1440p, you're kind of okay, but you gotta be careful. If you got a 4K and 8 GB card, then what the hell are you doing? Because you're just wasting money at that point in time. I mean, wasting performance too as well. But even my father, he has a 4070 60 Super Ti. What do you call it? He has a good card that's really powerful. But he plays racing games and Flight Simulator that requires a lot of VRAM. So for him, that's something he had to have. He got it for Christmas. And me, I like my 3070. It still pumps out good frame rate, about 80 to about 60 to 80 frames. You usually around that threshold. I'm playing great games. But like I said, we're now in 2025. What next? Well, guys, I'll do a video later on in the year. This video again. This is 2025 gaming. What to come. I'll do one probably in March or April. I'll do another video like this. So stay tuned. Peace out.